The Vakrin cub had no name, only a number. Subject 47K3 Rehabilitation Centers had sent him back with the same verdict: non-recoverable, recommend euthanasia. His species stood at the top of the food chain, all muscle and reflex, obsidian claws capable of tearing through Kevlar. Captain Talia Rowe read the file in the station's veterinary wing. The cub, barely 8 months old, had been taken by slavers and thrown into the pit fights on Frox 6. Every day he was forced to kill other cubs. He had seen so much death that it broke something inside him. He couldn't be near any living being for more than 30 seconds without attacking. "I'll take him," Talia said. The vet's pointed ears lowered. "Captain, he nearly killed." I read the report. Talia touched the scar on her neck, a habit when she thought. "I have space in Greenhouse 7, isolated sector." "You won't be able to train him to." "I don't intend to." They brought the cub in a reinforced containment crate, snarling, eyes blown wide with panic fury. The walls of the crate were dented from where he had struck them again and again. Talia instructed the workers to leave the crate in the corner of her sector, a small greenhouse dome filled with real soil imported from Earth at a ridiculous cost. She didn't approach him, didn't speak to him. She simply started digging. Her hands moved through the dark soil, mixing compost, shaping rows, the scrape of her trowel, the soft fall of earth, even breathing. The snarling gradually faded. Talia planted tomatoes, then basil. She spoke to the plants quietly about pH and spacing. The cub watched her from the crate, his golden eyes tracking each motion. On the third day, she opened the crate's door and stepped back to a safe distance. He exploded out a brown blur of terror and rage, shredding empty decoy crates, splintering them, tearing soil, destroying everything he could reach. Even at his age, one strike could break a human's bones. Talia stayed calm. She didn't look at him directly, avoiding provocation. She kept working on the far side of the dome. When he finally exhausted himself, panting, she was smoothing soil around a pepper sprout. "Capsicum annuum," Talia said, "like sun, hates wet roots." Days blurred into weeks. He destroyed. Talia planted. The distance slowly shrank. One day, while she was weeding, she felt a stare. The cub sat 3 feet away, head tilted, studying her movements. "Weeds steal resources," she said to the tomatoes. "You have to be firm but careful. Don't hurt the roots you need." The cub crawled closer, sniffed. A large clawed paw reached forward, mimicking her movement. He dug. Clumsy, rough, but he dug. Talia's heart tightened, but she showed nothing. She simply continued. "Just like that," she said quietly. "Exactly." By the second month, he followed her everywhere. She taught him to transplant seedlings, to protect fragile roots. His killing claws learned gentleness. He purred when the tomatoes bloomed. They both stared, surprised by the sound. Talia began calling him Ash because of the way his fur shimmered in certain light. He learned to answer. Nightmares came to them both. Sometimes Talia woke, breathless, back on the dropship, back in blood, and she would see Ash at the glass wall of the greenhouse, pupils wide. She sat beside him in the dark. They breathed together until the rhythm steadied. "We'll manage," she whispered, to him, to herself, to the seedlings. One day the station's therapist found them harvesting. Ash held a ripe tomato with surprising tenderness. "There's another one," Dr. Yates said. "A young Vakrin from the same center. He's where Ash used to be." Talia looked at Ash. He answered with a calm, golden gaze. "What do you think?" she asked. Ash set the tomato down, walked to an empty bed, sank his claws into fresh soil. They named the new cub Ember. He arrived as Ash once had, in a cage, snarling, drowning in trauma. Talia began digging. But this time she wasn't alone. Ash dug beside her gently, carefully. He planted seeds, patted the soil down. When Ember stepped out of the cage, he didn't see a human. He saw another predator, with the same teeth and claws. using them to grow things. The confusion hit so hard he forgot to attack. He sat, watched, then slowly began to dig. A year later, Greenhouse 7 held 6 vagrants. They called it the Miracle Garden. Therapists traveled from 3 sectors to study it: routines, soil, plants. But Talia knew the truth. The garden wasn't the cure. Gardens were a language, a grammar of healing. The core was something else. Paws designed for violence could learn something new. Trauma wasn't destiny. Claws that once harmed could protect if someone patient enough showed how. Ash became a therapist for his own kind. He taught them what Talia had taught him: the broken can grow back. Sometimes Talia watched them. Predators turned gardeners, and tears came. Not from grief, from hope. If they could learn this, then maybe she could too, and everyone else. The garden whispered one lesson: you don't bury trauma. You plant in it. Water it with time. Wait, and someday, improbably, you harvest joy.